Hello, everybody in Facebook Live land. We are the Podguyz Podcast, bringing it to you as we do live every Monday, 10:15 Eastern Standard Time. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary here.
Of course, we have the ever-loving Picasso, the dreamer of dreams, the dreamer of nightmares. Les Barquet.
Well, aren't nightmares just dreams as well? And he says hi, of course. You know what? I heard, he had to go all week just to buy that I and the letter H. Find the vowel. Sparky says hi for our non-viewing audience out there. Sparky will have a pad for the most of the time. For our deaf audience, I don't know what I just said.
Slash dot.
Yeah. That was tougher to watch than sign language carpal tunnel.
Guys, we do have a four square today. We have the impeccably. I'm going to use the impeccably diverse once again.
Oh, there we go.
No, the very talented. Very talented. We're not going impeccably diverse.
Dude, you say that if they throw one of the Jackson 5s in the same bat that they threw the Joker into, and then you're in. Jesus Lord.
Can I get through introductions? Of course, we have. Would you like your last name out on there, or would you just like to go as Corissa?
Either one works. I'm good.
All right. We do have Corissa Grant. She is the owner, CEO, executive producer, writer, creator of Worthy Chaos Comics. Welcome to our show.
Thanks. I like all those titles, man. I'm going to use that from now.
Yeah, that was good, right?
He's got tons. Don't encourage him.
My thesaurus is full.
Nice. Yeah. Well, it's funny because I'm dyslexic. So sometimes I have words in my head that are really huge and I can't spell them and I have to dumb it down. So I have a whole thesaurus in my head too.
Well, that's
like my life.
The definition of dyslexic is, sometimes you get your words and letters mixed up, right?
Yeah.
Then they have to name it dyslexic.
Right?
What the fuck? That's like the worst name for it. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
they do it. They do things like that on purpose. Have you ever seen, I can't even say it because I'm dyslexic, but the word, what is it? The phobia of palindromes is actually, the word is a palindrome. So
yeah. Really? Yeah.
They just want to screw with you. That's it.
Like an onomatopoeia.
Yeah.
Some psychotic writer out there, Well, you give Webster all the power, and he's like, I will make the words. But Corissa, so Worthy Chaos, that's a comic book series. How long has that been around? Because people these days, they just see Marvel movies on there, and they think that Marvel and DC are the only games in town. Tony is at that level of super nerd that he knows that's not true. I'm learning about all of these things every time. Hell, we had so many different creators come on here, such as yourself, where the competition feels like they should be getting more attention than the same old Spider-Man story told for the umpteenth time over and over. With great power comes great responsibility. Well, guess what, Marvel? Use your power and stop phoning it in with Spider-Man movies constantly, or these bottom of the bag fucking superheroes where you're like, we just found these in other books, and throw them out there and see that none of them stuck to the wall, including She-Hulk, because holy fuck. Anyways, so Worthy Chaos, how long has that been going around now?
6 months.
6 months. Well, thank God we're hearing about it now. We are at the startup. We are at the beginning of the enterprise right here.
That's right. Getting in on the ground floor.
I'm not going to say ground zero, because now that means a goddamn tragedy anymore,
Yeah.
So we'll say.
No, you've been in the realm of comics for a little while though, right?
I've read comics since the 90s.
There you go.
Yeah, but making comics has been about 6 months.
Right.
Now the writing was already done. I wrote 11 novels with a co-writer for fun, role playing. So I'm turning those into comic books. So, but technically they're already written, so that I can they're coming out a little faster than most people probably expected.
That's a really smart idea, by the way. No, Tony, that's really smart. So she already has the novels written. She realizes, now you got to realize, right, Carissa, the very limited attention of people anymore with words and letters and all that nice stuff. And they're just like, by the time you know it, they're overwhelmed and they're in the corner having a panic attack, seizure, whatever the heck they want to call it anymore, crying that they can't take it anymore. So you're just, you have an illustrator for these two. So you put the same words there, you get the illustrations, and then you don't want to overwhelm them with a too thick of a comic. So you can chop it up into different chapters and series too, making that, not a lot of crazy money. I mean, God almighty, guys, how much do the comics normally go for, if you don't mind me asking?
About $10 an issue.
Hey guys, $20 an issue, you'll be fine right there, right? It's only $30. The fish keeps getting bigger. Inflation's happening. China just took over. We're now trading them with the wands. Use your crypto wallet to buy them. Can they buy it in crypto coin or no?
Sure.
All right. Well, see, you can use your Dogecoin, Shiba coin, Bitcoin, Litecoin. Just give her money. You're going to enjoy these stories probably. I mean, so Tony, you probably want to ask what the hell the stories are about, right?
Well, I mean, I'll slip my repertoire in there. No,
there it goes, nicknaming his
course.
dick again.
Stop it. So with the indie storyline, of course, making your own comic, trying to get production, trying to get even an artist to back up your stories. How has that process worked out for you?
I spent thousands finding my artist. I had a particular image of what I wanted, and all the artists that I had contacted were either really, really bad or really, really good and just didn't fit what I wanted. So we went through it, and by the time I had spent thousands and all that, I was exhausted and was sick of looking at these horrible pictures. And so I actually posted my story, and I asked anyone if they wanted to do a free paid test page. And if I used it and hired them, I would pay for the page and we'd go from there. So I had 5 people making me a test page when my artist saw my post and said, "Are you still taking submissions?" And I said, "I will take a free one now and look at it first, or you can wait till these 5 are done. And if I don't pick any of them, I'll pay you for a page." So he handed in a free one, and it was dead on, like immediately. I was like, "You're hired." I paid the rest, and then that was, and he's absolutely amazing.
I'm sure he has a name. What's his name?
Jonas DaCosta. It's actually his first job. He used to do like portraits and stuff, and when I first saw his work, I want to say not interested, but it wasn't my style because it was very, very realistic, and that's not what I wanted, because he was doing like portraits and stuff. So that's why I was like, well, I don't know. But when he did it, he just was dead on. And we butt heads a lot in the first issue we worked on, because he had a vision and I had a vision, and we compromised finally, because I used to have 5 to 6 panels per page, and he likes to do his own panel work, and he's really good. I don't know if you looked at the comic, but his panel work is really good. So I compromised and shortened my pages to 3 to 4 panels, and then he turns them into like 8 panels or whatever. Sure. And after I did that, it just went so much smoother. He had more room to play and do his thing, and fortunately he's actually now more of a team. I don't just pay him and that's it. Like we talk back and forth, we banter. He went on vacation for a month, and 2 weeks in, he goes, "Just so you know, I completely missed this story and I can't wait to draw it when I get back." And I was like, "Enjoy your vacation." But
you already have the storyline, which is even better.
Yeah. And well, it's so funny because he doesn't read ahead. So he'll write me and be like, he'll send me 2 pages and he'll be like, "Are they gonna be okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, there's 40 more issues, they'll be fine." But yeah, we like to torture our characters, so there's a lot that happens to him. But yeah, so he's really fast, and we have the story already written, so we're pretty much releasing one every other month. So that's great. Yeah.
Where do you preferably like to get issues out? Try to sell off things. I know you're doing a Kickstarter right now.
Yeah, we pretty much primarily use Kickstarter. I do have a website, which I do sell when Kickstarter ends and people realize they might have missed it, they go there. But you pay the same price, but you get goodies with Kickstarter. So it does pay to do Kickstarter. Plus with Kickstarter, we have the stretch goals. Like right now, we're already almost, I think we're like $100 away from the 4th stretch goal. So right now, even if you bought a $5 PDF, which for 1 and 4, you always get the black and white and the color. So we have both in one. And then they get 16 issue 1s from other people, artists, and you get 16 issue 1s. So for $5, you're going to get the 17. And then I have Kickstarter, the stretch goal for 3 was a PDF for another issue we had done for a while ago. So they got that for free. So technically for $5, they get like 18 stories.
Corissa, have you ever thought about marketing your comic books out just with the art alone, since non-fungible tokens, also known as NFTs, are a big thing, just with the front pictures alone, just to put that out there as an NFT, working as like a cross promotion, both as a coin platform for yourself, making the money that way, and also a re-promotion of your Worthy Chaos. Is that a future idea?
I don't want anyone to own my images. I'm very protective. Like I won't, like if I have something hand drawn, like I've gotten in fights with artists because there's some artists that don't sell you the art with the commission, which I think is bull, but whatever. I don't use them. And I tell them if it's hand drawn, I need the original or I'm not doing it, because I don't want my character sold to somebody else, or I don't want it in a binder. And I know that makes no sense to anybody, but I have an obsession with my characters, and so I'm very protective of it. But I've gotten some fights with artists over because
and you know what? I totally respect that, because a lot of the most creative people are very protective over everything that they do. But and then there's that part inside of you that knows that it's all going to be eventually stolen anyways. You know,
like, kind of like our show a little bit. So like of course I hold all the creative freedom of this show, and I like to hold it tight. But there are people that like to steal our ideas. You know what one of those superstars is, Kevin?
I think I know what you're getting at, but I'll let you finish up on that one. Absolutely.
He was also married. Well, he was also dating a Kardashian.
Really?
Dating a Kardashian?
Yeah, he dated a Kardashian. He just broke up with her.
Are you talking about the Pete?
Yeah, Pete Davidson.
Remember
how he was stealing our ideas?
Oh my God! Yeah, listen, he was totally watching the show, and we know it too, because I was the one saying, I got into a crazy rant screaming about how the next person Jake Paul's going to want to get into a fight with is he's going to get a Ouija board. He's going to try to get in touch with Muhammad Ali because he's black and dead and an old fighter, you know, because that was the path that he was going in. So what do you see next week on Saturday Night Live? I called up Tony. I said, could you believe this shit? And he's like, hey, what's going on, man? No, what's going on? I'm in bed. It's late. I have a family. So I said, turn on SNL. He's like, I don't really want to watch SNL. I'm like, dude, our fucking shit's on there. All right, hold on. And I think he missed it, but thank God for YouTube, because, you know, anyways. But yeah, there are people out there. He dated a Kardashian for a little bit. Kim Kardashian is when you know you have hit rock bottom and you've done too many drugs. You know,
I did have somebody beg me to use my art for their metal band CD cases, and I was like, or death metal, and I was like, I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's either
if you can get a kickback off of every album that they sell, at least 10 cents a copy for every album that they sell.
Yeah.
It's today's culture. You either sell out 100% or you keep it all to yourself and end up being one of those people on the TV show Hoarders. I'm
going to be the hoarder.
You're gonna be the
yeah. Yeah, if someone even said, like, what would you do, a show or a movie? And first of all, my choice would be a rated R animated series, but it would have to be something it has to be something that I made up, because someone else was screwed up. And I
kind of took that the wrong way. I'm sorry. It's like,
no, that was horrible.
It's like a movie or a TV show. You're like, anime porn. And I'm like, fuck, hell yeah. All right.
What a whole different direction.
Not rated, not hentai. No. I am talking about like violence rated R, not porn rated R.
Oh, all right. Not hentai, better animation.
But a classy story, okay? Classy.
So for our stories, you know, they were written in RP format, so we couldn't really publish them or whatever. And we did have an editor, and they said, oh, you'd have to combine the whole thing, and it would, to me, ruin the story. And I flat out said I'd rather not make a penny off of this than to do anything to my story. So we that's what originally we were going to do, is just not do anything. And then I came up with the idea for the comic book, and I thought it was perfect. So it's I love seeing it come to life. And honestly, I just want to make enough to make each issue. You know, I don't really need a profit. I'd probably pay my artists more if I made some. Well, I pay off the debt that I am doing this. But then, you know, I'd pay my artists more. But I mean, if I was rich, I would just have these made and give them out. Like, I love the story, and this story is mostly for me, but I love when people enjoy it. So
now you seem like a D&D person. You seem like
Yes.
you've done once or twice in a basement filled with snotty nerds.
I was the nerd magnet, because not only did I like anime and all that stuff, I would go to anime cons before they were a thing for girls.
Of course.
And the boys, I'd be in a hotel room with like 9 guys. We'd share a hotel room, and I
All right, you guys are like naming Law and Order episodes now, and you're not even knowing it. You know, Tony's like, she's in a basement with men. She's like, no, 9 guys, hotel.
Nine
Like,
guys,
oh, man.
all in one hotel room.
Yeah. And how my mom let that happen is unbelievable. She was just like, yeah.
Nobody's getting action in that hotel room, buddy.
No one
Zero.
got it.
Maybe your mom was proud, and she's like, my daughter has 9 men in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I will
There's
tell
a lot
you
of
that-
planning of head to toe action.
Yeah. But I would get a lot of discounts from all of the vendors and stuff, because I was like one of like 2 girls that were there, and
Yeah, everybody's eye humping the shit out of you.
yeah,
They're all like, "Oh my god, a girl!
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
a girl!"
But guys, tuck it in.
I don't know if you know anime at all, but there's one called Lotus War, and it's like D&D in an anime form. So I was like the warrior elf. So like I had cosplayed as one of those, and that was
Perfect.
probably too overstimulating for some people. But so
Look,
good.
anybody in this room own elf ears?
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
Yeah, elf ears, elf outfit. I also was
Yeah.
Kagami one time, but yeah, so
Whatever. I got it too.
it's all good.
I just bought myself a new elven sword. Oh, it's
Nice.
beautiful.
I have Sting, and I'll tell you, that thing is by my bed, and I'm pretty sure if someone breaks in, it will kill someone. Now, I don't know if it glows, if there's an orc around, because there hasn't been any orcs around, but
Yeah.
as far as I know, it works. So
This is pretty cool. I got to read this off just as a because I have a wonderful reading voice, and you know, I enjoy listening to myself sometimes.
We'll go with
This
that.
is
Ooh.
great. It's
Ooh.
Worthy Chaos Redemption, a horror adventure comic issue 1 through 3, a fight for survival in a helltown against zombie mermen, ghosts, and Anubis. Anubis? See, this is what I hate about when doing audiobooks. Every writer wants to prove that they're a fucking writer by giving me like, boom, you guys were going great, and then here comes 20 letter word, and you're like,
you know, it's an
Respawn.
Egyptian god. You know that, right?
Egyptian guy. I don't really get into.
I didn't make up the word.
I never got into the whole Egyptian thing, because whenever I want to, it's great to fall asleep to, because there's so many. Look at Tony. For our non-viewing audience, Tony
Nice.
is producing what the police will call the what is that? What do they call it, Sparky?
It's not a
It's
katana.
really pretty though. It is a pretty sword.
It looks like a katana, but not. Oh, yeah,
Very
it is.
much like a katana, but
Doesn't say, it's
more
little
on the
From Lord of the Rings.
yeah.
Now I see. Yeah, I didn't get that. I only have Sting. I'm a small girl, so I
I
Sting.
think Buffy TVS meets Supernatural in Silent Hill. Is that accurate or no?
Yeah, it's and it's also, there wasn't enough room, but it's also in the Resident Evil world, because I started this because of Resident Evil 2, and actually book 3 is all Resident Evil. They're all in an affected city with zombies and lab creatures. So yeah, it's pretty accurate. The first book is pretty much Silent Hill. And then book 2 is it's kind of its own thing. So I guess it's more supernatural. And then book 3 and 4 is pretty much Resident Evil and Code Veronica and all that.
I want you to correct me as soon as I get a word wrong, because I'm going to get plenty of words wrong, but I'm going to pronounce them to the best of ability. But just throw in the real word when I mispronounce them, basically. All right. So for centuries, rivals Angel, Romelia.
Ramel, yeah.
Ramel. All right. Yeah, I knew that one. And Demon.
Rookie mistake.
Ashma.
That works.
Ashma fought to win the balance between heaven and hell. The angel responsible for judging souls and delivering them to heaven using his weapon was constantly attacked. Demons of chaos to devour their souls. Their battles continued. Yeah, this is actually got a nice backstory. Actually, you know, the problem with and it's easy to fall to, except I can't pronounce Ramelia. Say that again. Isle.
Oh, Remnel.
Remnel?
Yeah. Remel.
That's got to be Hebrew or something.
They're all angels and demons from actual Christianity or mythology or whatever. So that it is a real, we give them their own personalities, but all the angels and demons, their powers and duties or whatever they do are based on real. We did a lot of research in it, and Ramel is he is the angel of the judgment of souls. His power is lightning and a sword. And Asmon is the chaos demon that actually lives off of chaos and lives off of souls, and he's actually immune to lightning. So it actually worked out really well. So
suspiciously well.
I'm telling you, like, we came up with things separately, and then when we put them together, we're like, how is that so freaking perfect? Like, it was just like everything was like meant to be.
You guys are like soulmates, man. I'm telling you that right now.
I'm telling you, I believe it. We actually working on we have 5 issues in the prequel, but we are going to actually go further back and start where they started the war between Ramel and Asmon. So we are going to write about that later to see how it kind of started.
Now, the gender, it's not really gender specific right there. So who is who and what is what?
So Asmon is Draven's father, and Ramel is Seraphina's father. So Seraphina is an angel descendant and Draven is a demon descendant.
Because I see the artwork behind you, it looks like a man and a woman one.
Yeah,
that one right there.
That's Seraphina and Draven. They're soulmates.
Okay.
And pretty
because
much
you just described, I just thought I heard 2 dudes there, and I'm like, wow, the one back there is in drag. That's fine. Nothing wrong
You know
with
what,
that.
Kevin? I have a soulmate as well.
You do?
I do.
Nice.
He goes by the name Les Sparky.
Oh my God.
He's
Sparky, what do you got for us, brother? What do you have?
He's got his little board. Big board.
I got the zombie. You got the ghost Pac-Man.
Oh, look at that there. Now, Corissa, if you were wondering exactly what Sparky's duty is here, he himself is an illustrator of dreams and nightmares, basically just your nightmares in that one. So Sparky, I'm guessing that's is that Pac-Man and your own take on it, and you made your comic book strip right there, something like that, or no?
I'm digging it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
could you say yes or
much.
no
Yeah.
instead for the non-viewing audience for me to have to thumbs up? Yes? Yes?
Thumbs up.
No?
He said yes.
All right. Well, he's lost all 4 of his fingers, so that
I
thumb
know.
is just
Yeah.
there.
He is no longer a talker.
We don't have a ghost Pac-Man or a zombie Pac-Man, but we do have zombies and we do have zombie merman, which I have a plushie for too.
Zombie. So do zombie mermen? You know how like zombies come out of the grave? Do zombie mermen come out of like a tuna fish can?
They do now.
They can't leave the ocean.
Yeah.
You get like a Ren and Stimpy graphic close up on them.
They're pretty. They're not very pretty. But she actually fights one underwater in issue 2.
So if you're a zombie mer person, we'll even throw that out there.
There you
Zombie mer person.
Yeah.
Do the fish eat on your dead remains?
Yeah, they'll follow you around and snack on you from here and there. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Just saying.
Yeah. But yeah,
They don't last too long in the mer world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in issues 1 through 3, it's, and the name says it all. It's very chaotic. So They are stuck in a city like Silent Hill, and it merges with hell. So there's hellhounds, there's the zombies, there's ghosts, there's Anubis comes out. Yeah. There you go.
Redemption.
Hellhounds and skeletons.
Now it really looks cool right here. You have one of the hellhounds there, and when I say hounds, I mean this thing looks like a full on, probably twice the size of a wolf.
Yep.
And then you have what appears to be a zombie right there, or to a degree of a zombie.
It's a skeleton zombie coming out of the wall. Yeah.
Skeleton zombie coming out of the wall. This is got the professional feel to the idea. It doesn't get too realistic on the idea of you know that it's a cartoon. You know that it's definitely a cartoon.
It's for entertainment values only.
Yeah, this is not reality, folks.
Well, there are reality. You can't stress that enough anymore in today's world. Yeah. And are these and Corissa, just as a disclaimer, these are not deeper metaphors for people to do something else, right? Or any end of the world kind of stuff, predictions that the CIA gave you by mistake, and you're now just posing as yourself. We're just covering all of our bases.
Never know.
In its simplest form, you could say it is Romeo and Juliet in hell, or it's a nice long survival adventure story. So it's just them going through a bunch of shit that sucks. But in a very cool fashion. They're pretty much trying to protect her. She's created from the angelic weapon, and the angelic weapon has the power of souls, and the angels and demons both want it. And if they get it, it tips the war in their favor.
Now, do you think about doing any audiobooks from this or no?
Yeah, and I am, and I actually am considering animating animating the comic book into like a webtoon, but not a real animation because I can't afford that. But I'm actually trying to learn next year to animate the actual pages so that you have a nice story and all that stuff.
Me and Kevin are always willing to lend a voice to the characters.
Yeah, well. And what would you like to be? Are you going to be on the angel side or the demon side? They both suck, but one's more powerful.
We could
do both sides. We could do a wide variation of voices. I just do one dry monotone voice, so as long as the characters all sound the same, then it'll be easier for everybody, right?
Yeah, well, you can play.
Damn you to hell! Damn you back to heaven! I say.
You can do all the lesser.
Damn you back to heaven.
Turns page 34.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to think about. Yeah. I'm considering this.
Kick it around. We also know a lot of people that might want to that would love to be, like, we know Zach Morrison would be great for it, right? Or Zach Morris, not Morrison.
Zach Morris, yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
And not to say by the, I just realized it's kind of like,
I know he is from back to the Bell. Yeah, Saved by the Bell.
Back to the Bell.
Back to the Bell.
You tell your age there, Tony. That Back to the Bell there, a show for lawsuit purposes. We're not saying Saved by the,
that's cool.
Saved by the Ringer. Saved by the Ringer.
I used to watch that show. That's a while ago.
Oh, well. Kevin, we're going to take a 360-degree turn. We're going to talk about what we talk about best.
Yeah.
He doesn't look like he knows.
You don't know?
Oh, I'm waiting for you to finish your sentence because.
Oh, I thought you were going to finish it for. I thought we were here, Kevin. I thought we were here.
Listen,
apparently not.
You had your comma lined up, and then whenever I start to say something, you're like, "Whoa, can I finish it?"
All right, so let me finish it off for you. Kevin, we're going to take a 360-degree turn from this whole conversation. We're going to go into the things that we do best, Kevin.
What do we do best,
What is that,
Tony?
sir? What is that we do best?
What do we do best? We just talk shit all the time. That's what we do.
All the time.
Constantly. I did say something about The Ringer, like Saved by the Ringer, and there was a man that was in the movie called The Ringer.
He was.
The Ringmaster, it was called. The Ringmaster.
It was the Ring something.
It was the Ringmaster.
Was it the Ringmaster?
May he rest in peace, the old Cincinnati mayor. Yours truly, Jerry Springer, passed away at the age of 79. Now, Tony, that's going to be an interesting funeral to go to because they're just going to say something like, "Let's bring him out." You know.
Let me just ask this one question. Carissa, do you have a Jerry Springer story in your life that you would like to share with everyone?
I not that I could think offhand, but I'm there's probably a few in there. Yeah.
I'm sure. Everybody has a Jerry Springer story.
I'm sure there's something in there. I mean, I'm trying to think of a good fight because it was always a fight. That was the best part of the show.
Carissa, I mean, like, I think what Tony means is, have you ever like had something so white trashy happen in your life where you say,
white trashy.
Fuck, this is like I'm surrounded by people from Jerry Springer.
And not even this show. Not even this show.
Like, anytime I've done that before, I had a rule in my life that whenever my life started feeling a little bit like the Jerry Springer show, get the fuck away from who you're hanging out with. Holy shit.
No, my life's pretty boring.
Pretty boring.
Excellent. Excellent job.
Yeah. I kind of like the boring, you know.
And no one's ever thrown any chairs. No boyfriend's ever cheated on you before with your sister or your mother or your father.
The
or
only closest thing to that, which no, not as exciting as that, but I told this guy that I was dating for 2 years that I hated this girl in high school, and she wound up being in our college, and I said I hated her, and he went and cheated on with her. So there's that.
There's your Jerry Springer experience.
Yeah.
There
and
it
she
is.
was he
Folks
had
at home, that is white trash. Never do that.
So she was deaf, and for some reason that turned him on. Like he was turned on by like deaf people. So yeah.
Wow.
We're gonna elaborate on that for a second.
No, like that's a fetish. Is that a
that's
fetish?
a drinkable moment.
I don't know what it was.
There's that old joke out there that a friend of mine used to do, and we used to heckle him for it because it's a very tasteless joke. So this deaf, it goes a little something like this. And don't worry, James Halevi, I'm giving you credit for this one. All right.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Okay. I'm gonna
think it over before you do it.
I'm thinking it over. It's a blowjob joke there, Carissa. It's very tasteless.
We're skipping.
It's the
we're
best
skipping.
part about a deaf
Kevin.
girl giving you a blowjob. She gets to talk the whole time while doing it too. You know, with the sign language.
Why
wasn't
do you have to
tasteless.
do this, Kevin?
Because that was fucking funny. It's not a bad joke. It's not like all the deaf people listening right now are gonna be goddamn. Are gonna be like offended right now, dude.
We're a family show.
I like how I get to say something about incest that everybody like the South can hear, and then you're like, hold on, Kev, the deaf. What's wrong with you?
We're a family show, Kevin.
They might be feeling the ticker tape out there right now, and if there is that.
I've been to a deaf wedding. That's about as yeah.
They'll ask their kids to stop reading our lips, and you know.
Well, you know how if you go to a regular wedding and you have to tap the glass to get them to kiss.
Get the fuck out of here! Are you serious?
Yeah, at the deaf wedding, you have to like throw your napkins in the air.
They would make great fish.
Yeah.
So he cheated on you that is a Jerry Springer moment. I got news for you. That's a Jerry Springer moment right there. Tony, Jerry Springer moment for your life. Anything in that realm?
Hold on. We're gonna take a look at Sparky first until we get into a Jerry Springer moment. What do you got, Spark? Let's bring out your merman boyfriend, who is also your cousin. What am I going to tell mom?
Oh, look at that. You see, Carissa, he's dropping.
Even the mermen have a Jerry Springer moment.
He's dropping storylines out here that you really just got to grab onto and just steal it. Sparky's donating his. Look at for the people that can't see, for the people that are listening to us on Spotify, Spreaker, or iTunes, iHeartRadio. For the ones I said Spotify, for the ones that are listening to us out there on, I also said iHeartRadio. For the people that are not watching us right now, Sparky's illustrations are breathtaking. Carissa, am I right? Like
I completely agree. I concur.
Yeah. Like I think that Sparky's illustrations are a little bit too realistic for Worthy Chaos's brand.
Yeah, I don't think I could afford his talent.
No, of course not. I mean, he does work for food, but it's the expensive grape jelly, like the name brand. With the name like
it's some schmuckers.
They don't sponsor us. Why even say it, right?
I mean, we can't go into the W version, the Welshes, but
yeah.
We're more on a Smucker's budget.
Good to know. I might be able to afford that.
So Tony, have you had a Jerry Springer moment in your life?
Who hasn't? I don't want to share my story on
No, because your Jerry Springer moment's still going on, isn't it, Tony?
Every day.
It's happening right
every day
now.
of my life.
I can see.
No, you know what? Everybody has a Jerry Springer moment, regardless of if you've lived your life to its fullest or its least.
There are women out there that just want to have sex with people's brothers together. That's a weird thing. And I've always said no. And then, I always get this from my brother, like, oh man, you're really messing stuff for me. Like, all right, well, that's good for you, dude. It's kind of weird, that you.
Me and my brother did share a girlfriend now.
There you go.
Yeah.
Like knowingly? Like just
yeah, right after the other. Yeah.
Now hold on, Carissa. It's not what you think. This girlfriend did not have a pulse and was able to be inflated and deflated.
Oh,
So,
stop it.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday was Tony's day, and then
you're washing this thing in between.
Shared custody.
Well, at least you don't have to buy it presents, so you save money there.
This is true. No, it does happen sometimes, these weird moments. And I think that's why Jerry Springer got so popular, is because people were it gave one group of people to say, I'm not as bad as them. And then the other group of people to say, holy shit, look at our neighbors on TV doing some crazy shit.
Yeah, that's accurate. Yeah, it does make you feel better about your life. So.
Yeah. But Tony, what else happened in the news that's newsworthy, big stuff going on? It looked like
there's stuff around the web that, has gone on for the dawn of time.
The dawn of time.
Just recently, there was a great story about a woman who let out a full body orgasm while listening to Tchaikovsky's Fifth in a packed concert hall at the wonderful Philharmonic.
So guys, if you're looking for that special present for Mother's Day,
if you're looking for your Jerry Springer moment, let's do it at the Philharmonic.
I'm kind of just curious what the people sitting next to her thought. I mean, two shows for the price of one. I think it's fair.
It's true.
I think the music was the excuse, and there was a sex toy in there.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's a remote control little device.
Yeah, exactly. Because
I don't know. She was definitely a baritone, though.
Did she get a job after they hired her, or what?
If you have long-term credit, but you need
cash now.
Is she orgasming to that one too, man? Because
maybe.
Call J.
I'm sensing that's probably what happened. Yeah.
Yeah, like there's got to be, unless you're taking your wife to a hypnotist that has a sense of humor, or
True.
Yeah, okay, so the crowd then turned to where the noise had come from, and there was a woman sitting next to her partner trying to catch her breath. Her partner's hand was invisible, but it looked to be up her dress. Dude, that's a finger banging job right there. What the hell? They're giving the music way too much credit on this one. Don't get me wrong.
It was actually at the Walt Disney Concert Hall, by the way.
Never mind.
Yeah.
People do some freaky shit when the Disney people are wrong.
What's that girl doing over there?
I'm telling you.
Minnie, was that you?
She probably needs to be like in public to get aroused, and then he just finished it for her.
That's what it was.
I mean, there's a lot of fetishes out there, and there's I'm thinking that's one of them.
Do you know who actually outlived Jerry Springer? Our good friend at the Podguyz Podcast here, Willie Nelson, 90 years old. Just turned 90 years old this week.
He did.
So whenever your parents tell you that marijuana shortens your life expectancy, you can bring up it has to do something besides kill you, because he's 90 years old. And Sparky has got something on the big board over that. Sparky
he has definitely embalmed his own body with weed.
He's preserved pretty well. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably the wax figure they've been throwing around the whole time, and it just smokes every now and then. But they kind of just say, like, hey, this is still him.
Is this like Weekend at Bernie's? And he's just
they're Weekend at Willie's,
He's like the real life Wicker Man.
Yeah, they just throw a fucking cassette tape in there. He's like, Blue Eyes crying. They fucking mug around like he's goddamn bear people or Chuck E. Cheese.
Nice.
Uh-oh, Sparky's making an addition.
Sparky's all right. He's throwing in some more stuff here.
I like this. I like this version of Sparky right now. He's with it. Sparky, let's see what you got, brother. Oh, I love the way you play the rusty trombone.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
And now, guys, I know what you're thinking. It's actually a picture of a person playing a trombone that appears to have some rust on it. So not what you think.
Yeah, not the sexual position. The
I would have
rusty
thought it would
trombone.
be a pianist, but that's just me. So
Yeah. He's harmonica would be the moth organ then too, right? There's a lot of them out there.
That's true.
So Tony, you posted this story about one of your favorite actors of all time. This is
I have
Tony's.
one.
Oh yeah, you do. You said that this guy should be in the Marvel universe so many times. I've heard you say it. Steven Seagal.
No way.
Yeah, I've heard you say. You said that he should be the next Batman or something. I don't know.
I may have said that.
Yeah,
but I doubt it because I hate him.
You want to read out the story? Or would you rather myself read it out?
No, go for it. You're already into it.
Okay, so we have a legend Gene LaBelle. Okay, here we'll just say pathetic scumbag liar Steven Seagal denied shitting his pants after judo legend Gene LaBelle forced him in chokehold. So I guess you could technically choke somebody so hard that they shit their pants. It's not really used that much in the UFC for obvious reasons. So almost every actor has been through an embarrassing situation while filming a movie. Actor Steven Seagal also went through something similar. There is a famous story involving Steven Seagal and martial arts legend judo Gene LaBelle. The two had a friendly conversation.
He didn't have to visit a Chinese dignitary in order to poop his pants.
This is true. Well, there have been various versions of the story, Tony, but all claim that Steven Seagal pooped his pants in the end. However, Seagal once claimed that the story wasn't true and even called LaBelle a pathetic scumbag liar. And us at the Podguyz Podcast right back at you there, Steven Seagal. Right back at you. Because if there's one thing he probably says...
There's got to be a shred of truth to something.
If there's
like
one
that.
thing he probably avoids saying to him...
Yeah.
No,
it's not even in the littlest bit.
Gene LaBelle passed away in August 2022 at the age of 89. So this gives Steven Seagal open range to talk shit now. No pun intended.
Literally.
Yeah. For many years, a hilarious story has been rehashed and narrated by several people. Steven Seagal once bragged about being able to escape any kind of chokehold when he and Judo Gene were working on a project together. As per reports, LaBelle then used a technique called a cross-collar choke, which should be called a cross-crapper choke because holy crap, just on Seagal, and reportedly made Seagal unconscious. He passed out and pooped his pants.
He David Carradine the shit out of him.
No, David Carradine, if you do that to David Carradine, he comes. He's just like, thank you so much. By the way, we always have to bring up the last episode of Kung Fu where, he teaches his last lesson how to masturbate in a closet successfully or unsuccessfully. Still my favorite joke.
Still my favorite episode.
I learned a lot that episode. I learned so much.
Taking notes.
Yeah. But in 2002, Steven Seagal talked about the incident himself and narrated a very different version. He said, I'm going to try to do my best Seagal. All right. You guys ready for my best Steven Seagal impression? I'm sure Carissa might not know who the actor is well enough, but just think of a guy who goes to a bar and sells people fake roofies and then tells you that you're not taking them right. So, kind of that level. Yeah, kind of that level of guy. I don't even know if he is still alive. Is he still alive? I never knew about him. He's a pathological liar. He had somebody making up these stories. He came over my trailer and I was with a guy called Conrad Palmizio, who is still a legend, one of the greatest stunt coordinators in the history of Hollywood. Fun fact, they actually looked up that name. That man has never existed. So,
totally fake.
Not even joking. That man has never existed.
Never.
He wanted to stretch my back and then kind of flipped over the top of him and said, thank you for that. So
Steven Seagal is like the person that I would expect to have like drawers in his kitchen that are packed with Wendy's chili in a can.
Steven Seagal is the
Yeah.
kind of person that kidnaps his own children while dressed up like Santa Claus to keep the lie going.
That's fair.
That's the next movie out. Then you'll know somebody really is stealing your ideas because the next movie out is going to be Steven Seagal as Santa.
Yeah, Steven Seagal needed such an unfair fight. Nowadays, you can see him on A&E helping out cops beating the crap out of people while they're already handcuffed. So he likes those lopsided kind of fights.
Yep.
And Sparky has got some
30-second
footage,
videos.
right?
I love the 30-second videos of him doing a keto. And
keto.
He's trying to do instructional videos of a keto. And he's like all out of breath. You're just trying to do something. And he does like one of those fake judo stars. Did you ever see the guys who do like force fields around themselves and shit?
Yeah.
And he does that to somebody else.
Wow.
Yes, you could buy a Steven Seagal infomercial. It's our way to make a shield.
If you ever saw Napoleon Dynamite, that the karate actor makes me always think of Steven Seagal doing that part.
Yeah, sweating with Seagal, you know.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to replace Richard Simmons. And I think it's about time we all nominate Steven Seagal.
I'm going to go with Sparky.
Oh, that's a tough choice, Sparky or Steven.
All right, Sparky did come up with another tumultuous dream here. Marvel presents. What the hell does that? Steven
Marvel
Seagal
presents,
as the whale. I do not need the fat suit, Brendan, but that is me.
Nice. Sparky's on point today, man.
Sparky.
He's on point, and I tell you what, Steven Seagal probably on the same level of acting as Brendan Fraser. Both bad.
100%.
Both pretty bad. Because I'm sorry, Chris. I'm not sure if you're really much of a fan of Brendan Fraser, but in my opinion, he has he's
zero acting talent.
He wants sympathy. This guy, by the way, was lucky enough to get a trilogy of movies like The Mummy, right? Then he wants sympathy because his wife divorced him. He's going balding. He's like, well, nobody likes me anymore. Like, dude, you're a fucking millionaire. Oh, my accountant robbed me. Whoopity doo. Dude, just stop. How could you be so immediately good at life, be helped around, be signed by all the right agencies, be a multi-millionaire? You don't see Harrison Ford coming out there after the Indiana Jones movies looking like he just licked something bad and it stayed on his tongue forever. He's like, what's wrong, Brendan Fraser? All right, buddy. Listen, I know Hollywood gets rough, but I'm not gonna get into that idea. Anyway,
that's how you really feel.
Whatever.
The blowjob joke coming.
I did want to get into one nerdy topic story because I thought it was really funny. And Carissa, you might actually admire this story. There was a story about a guy who ordered Magic the Gathering cards. Now, have you ever portrayed a game or two of Magic the Gathering?
I have been to tournaments. I have never participated, but I cheerleaded them. So.
Oh, okay.
Was your husband in them at the time, or
no?
Husband, boyfriend?
No. Yeah, I'm sure I was dating some. I was never single. I always had a nerd somewhere. So.
Okay.
Yeah. It went.
I'm assuming your husband's very nerdy.
No, he's the manliest guy I ever met. So that's probably why I married him right away. Cause I didn't want to risk it getting away.
Saw him open up a can of beer one day without going, and you're like, oh yeah.
He's got the manly beard that none of the nerds could grow. So it was, instant attraction. Beautiful. So yeah. He can use a chainsaw. Yeah, he's never been on a computer. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
And not a chainsaw, just with a roll of the dice. And I use a chainsaw. No, you didn't.
Not 20.
I hope you know you didn't do that just because the dice said you did.
Yeah, I've been to a lot of games. I have not. I'm actually surprised that I never played Magic the Gathering, but I think I was lazy and didn't feel like learning the rules, and that was probably the only.
There were a lot of rules in the game. But I didn't even learn the rules. The cards artwork, the very graphicness of them that was something to behold for a little bit for myself. About the cards.
Yeah.
Marky, it's all about the power of the cards.
I bought the cards for the pictures. I'm sorry, like I never got
Yeah.
I never had
Well,
if I wanted my friends and said like, hey guys, want to play Magic the Gathering? They'd be like,
Kevin's
"Ooh."
14-year-old self is on the card.
Exactly.
The cards.
Like we were doing a lot of stuff back then, like sports and porn, sports and porn.
I didn't
Never
do
at the same time. Well,
Yeah.
unless you count the masturbating Olympics as a sport, then yes, both at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyways, there's a company called Wizards of the Coast, and Wizards of the Coast actually does preemptive sales of Magic the Gathering cards, and a person had purchased a pre-bought deck or a pre-bought box, of Magic the Gathering cards, and actually received the newest version of the Magic the Gathering cards before anyone else could ever get them.
That guy was popular as a king among men.
He was a king amongst men. So what happened was Wizards of the Coast actually raided his house.
Are you kidding me? Holy
to
shit.
take back the Magic the Gathering cards. YouTuber found Pinkerton agents at his front door on Saturday morning. And sometimes you actually accidentally buy something before it hits the street date. And you get bragging rights with all of your friends. And in that case, the one Magic the Gathering streamer who had purchased the box of cards had obtained a box of cards early. It landed him in hot water with one of the most infamous private security companies in the world. And you probably know about Pinkerton if you paid any attention to American history class. They were found as a private detective agency, and its agents made history as effective strike breakers against unions and organized labor. Now that most cities have a public police force to intimidate workers, Pinkerton was forced to diversify into other forms of work, including the seizure of Magic the Gathering booster boxes, apparently.
It's a career choice.
Yeah.
He should have had them in like a bank vault or something. I mean, that was his first mistake.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the YouTuber known as Dan Cannon claimed that he was shooting videos on Saturday morning when Pinkerton agents arrived at his private residence. His dog started barking at something, and his wife answered the door. They came knocking on the door to recover the stolen product for Wizards of the Coast, and which was the March of the Machine Aftermath booster box.
Wow.
Yeah.
The guy will go down in legends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I would say maybe he should put them in the same place that he keeps his wedding ring, but I'm guessing that doesn't exist. So
Yeah.
Tony,
Unless it's a Lord of the Rings ring.
Tony, I'm gonna play a little game myself called Kevin Predicts the Future again.
I am ready for this.
Are you
Sparky,
ready for
I
this?
hope you have this written down somewhere.
Kevin predicts the future. And this is a real easy one. As some of you have been paying attention in the news, or, the news anchors being let go, Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox News for, being Tucker Carlson. And why not, right? So my prediction for Tucker Carlson's next move, not that there should be, not that I care for them to be, reminder, for anybody out there that thinks that Tucker Carlson actually has an opinion about anything, he's held every opinion. So he's worked for CNN, he's worked for MSNBC, he's worked for Fox News, he's been a correspondent through local news, he is also heir to the Swanson food family. That's how fucking rich he already is while playing the everyman. He uses the same tone of voice as John Stossel does, where he sounds a little bit something like this. And what is racism anyways? And why do we have to worry about stuff? So it's basically, if you've heard it before, it's just John Stossel. Only now he wears a little bow tie, and they took off the bow tie, gave him a real man's tie, which is nice, right?
Continue on, Kevin. Continue on.
Continuing
We're
on.
ready.
My prediction, Tucker Carlson will be taking over for Alex Jones at InfoWars. There is nowhere else for him to go, and there's nowhere else for Alex Jones to go.
So what does that have to do with the card world?
That has nothing to do with it. I said I'm going to go into a new segment at the beginning of my sentence. Fuck your
I didn't
card
hear that
world.
at all.
I didn't hear that either.
Yeah. So I said we're gonna play a little game called Kevin
If you-
predicts the future of something.
if
It
you
doesn't have to
think-
be a goddamn card world. What the fuck do I have to care about cards for? I'm predicting the future on something completely different. I literally started talking about anchors and all sorts of shit.
We were talking about apples. You went
I-
straight into oranges, buddy.
Oh my god.
you can't just think the thought. You have to say it out loud for the rest of the class so that we
Oh
can-
yeah, I was just while Tony was rambling on about the guy that was losing his life sayings about cards, I was like fucking elsewhere looking at Wendy's cans of chili that are going to be in your grocery store very soon.
They're all in Steven
These
Seagal's
cans of chili.
closet.
Isn't the Wendy's meat just like leftover hamburger?
Leftover
You know,
hamburger,
that's the mystery about it. No one really knows the origin of where the meat came from. Some people say it came from the burger meat. Other people think that they have pieces of Dave Thomas laying around the place still, and
He was fat, but he wasn't that fat. I'm pretty sure they would have
They
run
could-
out of him by
they
now.
could clone him and
No.
regrow him. They got
No.
they got ways of doing this, man. You know, they've done it with Ronald McDonald before with this.
Yeah, they've rejuvenated Jurassic meat already.
This is
They're
good.
bringing back the woolly mammoth. Here
They are
comes
bringing
Dave
it back.
Thomas.
And Sparky's got the clip pick right there.
What you got, Sparkles?
Sparkles.
You want to
My
read that
best
out, Kevin?
deck. My best deck. Joe behind the curtain. Okay. Seagal, Merman, Poop, Pyramid, and Police. Well,
That is the best deck. That
Sparky
is the
brought
best
out
deck.
all of his characters tonight in little boxes that look.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering has nothing on that.
No.
That's
Yeah,
called
I'd rather
that's
buy-
called
I'd rather-
Podguyz the
I'd
Gathering.
buy Sparky's before I bought that Magic the Gathering.
Magic the Gathering. They should have a Worthy Chaos deck of cards out there, or like a
I
board game.
should. Absolutely.
Or why not? Right, a board game would be that interactive board game. Or now if kids don't play board games anymore, so you would have to make an app for that or something, or get in touch with the app creators to a degree.
Yeah, you know what? It's probably easier than one thinks. I mean,
Are you on Chris? Are you on Amazon at all or no?
no, I'm probably gonna put my graphic novel. My graphic novel for book 1 comes out in October for Halloween. And I'm probably gonna put that on Amazon, but I'm probably not gonna put. I think the individual ones would have to go on their, what is it, comicology thing or something. And I looked-
Comixology. Yep.
yeah, I was told bad things about it and that it wasn't worth it. So my graphic novel will probably be in there, and
Do you go through a particular publisher, or is it like your own self-published, like made?
So
Yeah,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
just
listen, if it's not worth it, like you said before, you would just give them out on the street, if anything. So
yeah, I mean,
dying
I
to do
want people to read these more than I want to make money
yeah,
off
so
of.
then I would just throw it out there to any venue possible. If you make a nickel or make a dime, that's
Well,
it's from
I have
everywhere.
to make enough to make the next issue. There are like 40 issues in this series, so
Oh, well, I'm sure Amazon has enough subscribers to the point where they can, where if somebody buys a book or a comic book similar to yours, and they could also suggest yours on the next block in the algorithm that people are already there. So it kind of works out as a vertical integration approach of promotions.
yeah. So I will put my graphic novel on there for Halloween, and we'll see how that goes.
Yeah.
We're gonna wrap up the show a little bit. But of course, we would like to lay out the red carpet for you, Corissa. How would people get in touch with you? How would they find Worthy Chaos? How can they get in touch with you to buy Worthy Chaos?
Is that okay? So right now we are on, on Kickstarter. The easiest way to find us is just going to Kickstarter and searching for Worthy Chaos. We are the only thing that pops up. And it's there until May 16th, but we have a Kickstarter every other month. So the next one is June 20th, August 13th, and October 3rd. And then if for some reason you can't wait those 30 days, you can go onto our website, which is worthychaoscomics.com, and we have the PDFs for sale and the printed.
Everybody wants instant gratification at some point.
I love instant gratification. So yeah. But to contact me, I have about 5,000 followers on Twitter, And that is at worthy_chaos, or you could probably search Worthy Chaos, and I'm the only thing that pops up. You can add me personally, Carissa Grant, because I will pretty much talk to anybody because I'm that insane. But a lot of people
You've heard it here. You've heard it here on the Podguyz Podcast. You are insane.
Yeah. You'd have to be right to do this, but at least to this degree. Like they made fun of me in a good way. I was on a show like 2 nights ago, and there were other like veteran and indie people there, and they've been doing this for 5 years, and they were like, oh, how many have you released in these 5 years? And he's like, oh, well, if you include this issue or this series and my other series, I'm on 9. And someone goes, oh, good, and what about you, Chris? And I was like, 4. Oh, really? How long have you been doing this? 6 months. So okay. So
look, you got to start somewhere. It is what it is.
It is.
It's not like you don't have experience, though. This is when you are veering into your own area. You're
So I'm doing the best I can. But yeah, so you can add and for all, I support all indie other indie creators, and a lot of them have come to me, and I've actually helped them produce their own. Or
you have anybody of, not to say anybody of worth, anybody that you emulate, anybody that you look up to. Is there one specific person that you would like to shout out at right at this point in time?
I have 2. I have Rob Mortari, which is live now. He has Nightwolf. I don't know if you know him, but he has Nightwolf 7, and the artwork's phenomenal. I think it's at like 14,000 something on there. And it's a werewolf with a cool story. So there's really nothing to not like. And the other one is Lori. She has Path of the Pale Rider, and it's zombies and cowboys. So you really can't beat that. So I definitely recommend that. She's going to be starting that on, she just got done on Kickstarter, but she's going to do like a round.
For those that don't know Lori, does she have a last name?
Katari, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
But I pretty much everyone goes. She has
Laura Guattari, if she had a social security number, what would it sound like?
Perfect.
Anyway, she has a Facebook group called Path of the Pale Rider. And she will be on Indiegogo tomorrow for issues 1 through 3. And I highly recommend that you go get those 2 indie creators, and they're just remarkable stories.
Send them our way. We'll totally have anyone that has you on, Tony. This was a great find right here. Carissa has been one of the more fun guests here on the Podguyz Podcast. See, right when I saw the background, and especially you knew. Dude, you already know off the bat. You know, she's not afraid to laugh at some dark humor jokes, guys. We're not serious about making people angry,
sad
at
or
us,
depressed, or
yeah. And if you are sad, if that's going to be, the mindset of the world anymore, then just fucking listen to some other podcast, like just,
or you can listen to us.
You could listen to,
we're not going to shun you away.
And if you have any, if you do have any complaints, just go to the Podguyz Podcast at gmail.com. Send your complaints right there. Sparky's on at the Podguyz Podcast at gmail.com. See, those graphics, a lot of people have to pay for. We just realized Sparky is free and a part of the podcast.
That's true.
So,
and you could also go to merchbooth.com. That's right, merchbooth.com for
Look
all
at that
your
shirt
favorite
that
Podguyz
Sparky's
podcast
got.
merchandise.
Yeah.
Woo!
You got yourself some hoodies there. So say you live in Canada and it's still a little cold up there, and you're looking for the most stylish hoodie you can possibly wear.
See,
and you're a big fan of the Podguyz
feel like our
Podcast.
Podguyz Podcast merchandise should be sponsored somewhere into a Worthy Chaos
I
comic
agree.
book on a character,
I
just as a
agree.
random
Yeah.
t-shirt.
Actually, I have to tell you that I did add an add-on of you could be drawn in as a vampire in issue 6, and you could be killed, either decapitated on a fire. So I might, if you want, can put a hoodie on one of the vampires in the warehouse. And I'm just saying, I won't burn him, otherwise the shirt gets burned, but we can decapitate him.
That would be
that's
the
fine. That's
Easter
perfect.
egg of all Easter eggs right there.
Yeah, well, all my issues do have an Easter egg. So they have an Easter egg from a horror movie or a video game. So we'll just have to add that in as an extra bonus Easter egg.
Ooh, that'd be perfect. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to happen now.
Well,
Hell yeah.
Carissa Grant, thank you very much for being on our show.
Thank you for having
Guys,
me.
if you want to check us out, Sparky, where can you find us?
You can actually find us on every single major streaming platform, including iHeartRadio, YouTube, Spreaker, Deezer, Castbox, Pocket Cast, Google Play, Facebook Video, where we are now, Google Video, Geo Rio, even though that's not
Rio.
He's like Silent Bob, man.
iTunes.
iTunes.
Damn you, iTunes.
And if you're
Actually, I'm gonna have to give you a new list because we're not on half of those anymore.
Oh, he talks and you made him talk too much and it didn't even.
I know.
Here's all the wrong lines to read. Here you are, sir. You did it wrong.
We are now on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Sonos, Chrome, Google Podcasts, as well as podcastaddicts.com.
YouTube as well.
That's some epic things there.
Yeah, and we're also coming out with the Podguyz Podcast commercial, another one coming up, it's going to be a lot of fun. Probably tomorrow.
Here comes another one.
It's every Tuesday.
All I hear is let's get ready to rumble in that room.
Ladies and gentlemen. All right, no, we're just going to end this show. Corissa Grant, thank you very much, sweetie. You've been a wonderful, wonderful treat to our show. We are the Podguyz Podcast. I am Tony Kaz.
Kevin Neary.
Of course, the ever-loving Picasso.
Ray of sunshine, Kevin. Yes. Thank you for having me on.
Make sure you tune in, share, like.
All of that.
Buy merch at merchbooth.com. Why not? Have a great night. Bye, everyone.